Leo, this is your tarot reading for November. I really hope you find it useful, Leo. I normally say at this point, coming from the mountains of Java, but I honestly don't know where I'll be. Somewhere between the UK Passport Office and health regulations in Indonesia. I've been snookered as I have for 3 years, so I've no idea where I'm going to be in November. But this reading is about you, Leo, although I am a Leo. And yeah, I hope you get something really useful from it, Leo. I really do. Leo, I'm a Leo, so it means so much to me. I get the impression this is a good reading. I get the impression that things are good. There is something in it that worries me a little. A bit more of the same, if you like. We'll get to that. But if you look at that central card, that's the King of Wands. That's a very action orientated, almost entrepreneurial king. And that energy runs throughout everything. So I need to reflect on that as I interpret the other cards. In the past, we have the Three of Pentacles, which is about teamwork, working with others. We then, your current energy, the Sun card. Are you feeling happy? You've got multiple blessings, life is a bowl of cherries. However, in your future, we have the Seven of Swords, which is betrayal. So yet another betrayal for you, Leo. I think it's a somewhat bitter betrayal as well. But let's not allow that to colour the rest of the reading. We have another king, which impacts on the outcome, and that's the King of Pentacles. Now, we've had the King of Wands, which is action orientated, probably entrepreneurial, and a King of Pentacles is a king who's good with money. So it's almost suggesting to me that you're going to start making money, probably through business, or I think you might have already been doing it. Now, the card that changes the outcome is another pentacle, but it's the Seven of Pentacles, which is you saving for the future. So the King and the Seven aren't that different. They're about the same sorts of things. One's long term, maybe the other's just being cute with money. So I don't quite understand how that influences how they influence the outcome differently. But the outcome, sorry. Maybe it is that the Seven is taking a longer term view, and the little problems that we've got with this betrayal is maybe something that you could just take in your stride rather than overreacting to it, because the outcome is the Queen of Swords. She's a lovely queen, she's firm but fair, but I think that's you putting up boundaries because you're aware that you could be betrayed yet again, and the betrayal's in the future. Whereas, as I say, we've got that Seven of Pentacles, which maybe says to me, seen it all before, do I have to keep putting up barriers and boundaries, or do I just say, well, in the long term everything's going to be all right? I'm not sure. We'll find out more, so I hope you stay with me to listen to it as I unpack what all of this really means for you. But if it's having resonance, if you could hit the like button, make a comment, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you get future notifications. It really would help me a lot, Leo. And the last thing I want to do, Leo, is thank you in anticipation of doing that for me. So thank you very much. You may well be asking, Why from Java? What's important about tarot from Java? And the truth is, there is nothing so important about tarot from Java. Simply that here in Java we have many different spirits who will come to help in your tarot reading. It'll probably put a different reflection on things. For example, the spirits here are less likely to be concerned about love and finances, despite people in Java being every bit as interested in these things as the rest of us. But maybe the spirits are trying to tell us something else. Now I'll be using probably 2 decks, but out of 3 decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara, the second deck is the Steampunk deck, and the third deck is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love, whereas the Light Visions I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them, something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading. Perhaps the most important mystical object we use in Java is the kris, the curly knife that you can see that I've placed across both decks. Kris are very important for bringing the spirits to work on any object here in Java. And I call on the spirits of the mountain to assist me in shuffling the cards, in selecting the cards and interpreting them correctly for Leo for November 2022. Now we have this King of Wands, and that is an energy that runs throughout the entire reading, and I think that's very important. It's suggesting to me that November's going to be an action-packed month, that you are controlling. You're the one creating the action. He's a sort of an entrepreneurial king, so I don't know if this is about enterprise, if it's about a business that you've started or going to start even. But I'd say it's a very good omen. You look at him, he's standing firm with that wand in his hand, in his throne, looking over what he commands really, isn't he? So we've got this sort of imperative for action running throughout the whole reading, which I think is great, particularly if you, like me, have had your life on hold for some 3 years. So yeah, I think it looks good, very good. In your past, we have the Three of Pentacles. That's the card of teamwork. It suggests to me that the things that you've had to do, and you've had to do them with others. Now that isn't necessarily, it's sort of, you've all got your own specialisms. So it's not necessarily that you're working closely with others, but you're all different. And when you bring everything together, then it creates a whole. You look at the card, well, he looks like he's carving that wooden door of a palace or a temple. And I don't think, they're holding up his tools. I don't think, or plans, I don't think they can really help him. One might be a stonemason, another might be an architect. So they come together to create this wonderful building. But not one of them is dominant, It's a case of you've all got your own things to do. Now that's your recent past. And given that we've got this King of Wands that runs throughout, I feel it's about a business. I feel it's about a business that you've needed to work with others on this business. And your current energy, Leo, is the Sun card, a beautiful card to have. You're happy, the sun is shining down on you. It feels to me like, if it is a business or whatever this is all about, it's working out for you. You're getting multiple blessings and you know it. And people can see it. People can see the confidence in you. They can see the radiance in you. I mean, you look at the card, he's on that beautiful white horse. The horse is jumping through that flag or that banner, and the sun is beating down on him. It's just a radiant, wonderful card, and that's how you feel at the moment. So it's a lovely feeling to have right at this moment in time for you, Leo. Your future energy, and there's always a but, and this is the but. It's the Seven of Swords, and that's about betrayal. I get the impression that it's quite a bitter betrayal, but I also get the impression that you've seen it all before. And I think maybe you're able to take it in your stride. Yes, you'll struggle as a result of it, but it's something you've anticipated, maybe seen it all before. You look, he's made off with 5 of the 7 swords, but he's looking round. He might drop them, he might have a change of heart, you might catch him. They might not get away with it. It doesn't necessarily happen. But I do think that it's going to upset you. It's going to challenge you. It could be something like this. I've been with the Royal Bank of Scotland for probably about 40 years, something like that, or maybe 35 maybe. And when I moved to Indonesia, I informed them I was moving to Indonesia, but wanted to keep open my UK bank account. And although I won't say, I've had huge problems with them. And about 6 months ago, they stopped me from being able to transfer money, or transfer much money at a time. And it caused me immense problems. There was nothing I could do about it. I did complain to the Ombudsman, but they upheld their case. And lo and behold, recently I found out that they want to close my account. There's plenty of money in it. I've not done anything wrong. They just want to close it. And to be honest, I've been seeing it coming for a little while. I felt that was the agenda. Now, it just so happens that I couldn't open another bank account from outside the UK because, they want all sorts of things that I don't have. And don't get me wrong, I've got Indonesian bank accounts. So, but there are issues about me having, really still requiring a UK bank account. And it turns out that the way that I used to transfer money, I think most of the things that I relied on my bank to do, I can use them to do it. So, I think there's a solution. So although it's bitter, it is bitter. I've been with them a long time. They've not half messed me around. And this is like the final straw. But, I've got a solution. I'm taking it in my stride. As I say, I've been anticipating it. So it's just like saying, yeah, it's a microcosm of what's happened to me since I left the UK. I've been betrayed by many institutions, including the UK government, on multiple times. And it's just like, to be expected, isn't it? Now, the energy impacting on the outcome is a lovely energy. It's the King of Pentacles. So I think this is about money. I think this reading is largely about money. This is somebody who's good with money. So, I've just told you about the Royal Bank of Scotland, and as it happened, I'd got a provider that I can transfer money with that turns out they offer most of the banking facilities that I require. So, I'd already got in place some of the things I needed to have in place. It's that sort of good with money type of thing that I'm thinking of here. But when you combine it with the King of Wands, which, as I say, is a very entrepreneurial king, maybe this is about business. Now, as I say, this king leads to the outcome. And I think it's related to the betrayal as well. But I'll get to that when we come to the outcome. Now, a part of the reason why I'm taking this sort of seen it all before view on what might be going on in terms of the betrayal is the card that changes the outcome is the Seven of Pentacles, which is long-term investments. So we've got a king that leads to the King of Pentacles that leads to the outcome, or a Seven of Pentacles that changes the outcome. And I think the Seven of Pentacles is saying that you take a longer term view on it. So, in terms of my bank account story, I'm probably committed. Well, no, I am. I'm absolutely committed to staying in Indonesia. That's where my family are. That's where my homes are. So do I really need a UK bank account? The only problem I'm going to have is when I visit the UK, and if I'm ever allowed to visit the UK again, because of, I've told you my problems, I can't get money out of a UK bank account with those arrangements. So I'm gonna be like an Indonesian tourist. I'm gonna have to come with, credit cards, whatever. It's not going to be anything like as convenient. But how many times am I going to visit the UK ever again? Does it really matter? So I think it's about taking that sort of long-term view about finances. That's what I think the difference is. The outcome is the Queen of Swords, and I said that was about you putting up boundaries and barriers, and it could be. It could be that you're aware of this deception that's going to happen, and you're guarding yourself against it. However, I've had another thought on what this could mean. This Queen of Swords, it could be that you're wise. You're wise to what's going on. You understand what's going on. And you're firm but fair with it. If somebody's trying to deceive you, instead of you rising to it, you probably just are saying, well, maybe somebody's jealous of me because I'm doing well now. And somebody is trying to cheat me out of some of that I've created. But they don't have so much money, so I must learn to forgive them for it. Not necessarily let them get away with it, because she's a firm but fair queen. And I wonder if that's how I should be seeing it. You look at her, people do like her, but she's sitting there with that kris, which is that sword, upright. She's not a queen you'd mess with. You don't mess with her. You don't mess with her. So maybe this betrayal doesn't come off. Maybe that's how I should see it. Yeah. I'm going to get some clarification on the betrayal though. I seek clarification on this Seven of Swords. And the first card we have is the Queen of Cups. She's a very loving queen, and people do tend to take her kindness for weakness and exploit her. But she's reversed. And when it's reversed, it's about your inner feelings, self-care, self-love. maybe a codependency on someone. So I think this betrayal is by somebody that you love. It's going to cause you some problems, but you will overcome them, I believe. Because the next card we have is the Two of... It is Pentacles, isn't it? Let me just check that that's a Pentacle. Sorry, I can't see it so well here. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Struggling a little, but it suggests you're going to overcome it, if you ask me. So it's going to cause you a little bit of a problem. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is a brave, courageous, fast moving. It could also be, and remember the Queen, I said it could be about information. You could get some more information on what's going on here. Yeah, I think you're going to spot this deception. I think that's what it is. Certainly in my own particular circumstances, I totally understand this reversed Queen of Cups. This is, I believe, about you, about self-love, about you putting yourself first. Because you've allowed the emotions of others to dominate you to such an extent you've not been able to make progress. And this deception, I think, is sort of the final straw of realising somebody who's very close to you, somebody that you love, probably doesn't love you. They've seen you come into money and they have a sense of entitlement to your money. And this is saying, no, put yourself first. And you've seen this coming. You've seen it coming. You knew it was coming. Your intuition was spot on, I believe, on this one. And it's just saying, don't give in. Don't give in. You know, think of yourself this time. That's what it's about. This Two of Pentacles suggests to me that you are going to have to struggle with it. You're going to overcome this situation, this deception. Yeah, you are going to overcome it. You're going to spot it happening, and you're being asked to put yourself first, but it's still going to be a struggle. So, I mean, the only deception from the Royal Bank of Scotland was that they clearly tried to get me to close my own account rather than tell me I was closing it by withdrawing their services. So that was the deception, but I don't think it's a deception like that. No, this is a deception by a loved one, somebody trying to get hold of the money that you've recently started making, and they have a sense of entitlement, and you've got to develop your own sense of entitlement. You've put up with enough, Leo, you really have. And you're going to struggle with your views. You might have to struggle to overcome the problems that they cause you, but you are going to overcome them. You look at the card, well, you know, riding a penny farthing in a Victorian costume is probably extremely difficult. Doing it along a seashore with the tide either coming in or going out would make it even more difficult. And it's also night time. So multiple difficulties, but you do overcome them. And I am certain you overcome these problems because we now have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is brave, he's courageous, he moves quickly and swiftly. And I think that's what you do. You spot this deception, you spot what's happening, you understand what's happening, and you move swiftly. And this is a lesson that you've been learning over the number of years recently, that you're too soft-hearted, as Leos are, and people have taken advantage of you. And it's not a case of being hard on them. it's a case of a bit of tough love, because it's going to help them as well to no longer see you as this person they can always turn to, because they have to stand on their own 2 feet, just like you are, Leo. And you have demands on the money that's coming in. You have other priorities, and your priorities need to start taking precedence. That's what it's about. We can summarise for you, Leo. Leo, you're a kind-hearted soul. You take on the burden of others. You do as much as you can for others. But you've been learning the lesson that it often isn't in their interest, nor indeed in your interest, because people see your generosity, your kindness as a weakness. And as long as they feel that they can keep coming back to you and taking from you, they're not going to do anything for themselves. And this is about a final, well, no, I say final. Is there ever a final test? It's another test of that, because you have learned that lesson. Leo, you're going to come into money. I think you already have by now. And I believe that's because I believe it's through a business or entrepreneurialism. Certainly it looks as though you're good with money. And right now, things feel great. Couldn't feel better. But somebody close to you, somebody who you care about, tries to deceive you over money. And it's going to cause you problems. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. But you spot it and they don't get away with it. And that's because you've changed in your attitudes. And now, I think this is somebody that you actually want to help. And maybe there's a suggestion here that if you help them in the long term, they're trying to steal from you in the short term. But if you do something for them in the long term, then maybe that would make you feel better that you've created something for them in the long term, and not given in to this deception that they're going to try and play on you. Now, I'm making too much of this deception because this is a lovely reading. It suggests that the money things that you've been worried about are a thing of the past. Things are going well for you, and you can feel the radiance, but the issue is so can others. And in the past, people have abused you, and they're coming back for more. But you've changed. You've changed. So you can either just be cruel it's not cruel. You can just put yourself first and say no. Or, as I say, you can perhaps do something for them in the long term. But I think even saying no to them in the short term helps them in the long term, because it helps them to realise that they can't keep expecting you to bail them out. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java. Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.